You know, some folks say your family will obey or face consequences, and I used to laugh at that, thinking it only happened in those crazy TV shows. But there I was, standing on my own lawn, sweat from the grill still drying on my forehead, watching the neighborhood's self-appointed queen, let's just call her Sandra, scream at my wife and kids, clipboard in one hand, eyes like cold steel, and my blood, I swear, it was boiling hotter than the coals I'd just set down. We'd refused to join her fake HOA with the grand-sounding Lake Paradise name, and now she was dialing the cops on us, acting like she was the mayor or something, all because we wouldn't bend. And I remember thinking, here we go, another power-hungry neighbor with too much time and not enough heart, about to make our life hell. Except, when that cop stepped out of his cruiser and saw my face, I saw something flicker in his eyes, like he knew me or maybe owed me. And right then I had this weird sense that something from my past was about to save our future. You know what I mean? I guess I should back up a second, because 3 years ago, I came back from Afghanistan, combat medic, 3rd Infantry Division, patched up more soldiers than I care to count, lost some I can't forget, earned enough nightmares for 10 lifetimes. My wife Maria, a nurse at the local hospital, she's the type who handles chaos with the same steady hands she uses to make the world's best potato salad. Our daughter Emma's got a stubborn streak and a courage that scares me, and Lucas, at 5, is all laughter and dirt. Biggest worry in his world is when his sister won't share her ice cream. We'd found peace here, or so we thought. Mortgage paid, lawn trimmed, American flag flying out front, because that's how we show respect. Burgers on the grill every Sunday like clockwork, thinking this is what we fought for, this slice of quiet. But that afternoon, Sandra showed up, her blonde hair perfect, makeup flawless, expensive car idling behind her, a professional photographer snapping shots of our property like we were on trial, legal papers spread on her hood. Mr. Martinez, she snapped, all official. Your family has violated HOA rules. Wrong color kayak, fence too high, flag improperly displayed. She rattled them off with a lawyer's precision. Maria, who'd dealt with real emergencies, wasn't having it. We never signed up for your HOA, and we're not backing down, she said, her voice that calm fury that scares even me. Sandra's face twisted, she screamed again. Your family will obey or face consequences. And that's when my old military instincts kicked in, the sense this wasn't just about neighborhood rules. Later that night, after the kids finally drifted off, I sat at the kitchen table, replaying every second, something not adding up. Her questions had been too pointed, about Afghanistan, about my service, even the names of guys in my unit. Why would some random HOA president care about that? I did what every sleepless vet does. I searched her online, and there it was, a photo that knocked the air out of me. Her son, Michael Torres, killed in action, Afghanistan. That face. I knew it, because I was the one who tried to save him. Sandra had hunted us down, not for HOA violations, but for revenge. The next morning, she called with ice in her voice. You have 48 hours to put your house on the market. Refuse, and I'll make your life hell. And then, right on cue, police cars circled our house, Sandra in tow, performing her best victim routine, tears, trembling, accusing me of being violent, dangerous, unstable. My neighbors peered through blinds. My kids clung to Maria, terrified. Officer Carter, young, sharp, ran the questions, but something in his eyes told me he was measuring me differently, like maybe he'd heard stories about guys like me. Or maybe, well, let's just say, fate has a way of circling back. Sandra upped the ante, revealing details about my service she shouldn't have known, battle dates, other soldiers' names, stuff only a real investigator could dig up. I realized she'd gotten my records illegally, which was about to bite her back. The community started to see through her, thanks to my buddy Tom Williams and Mrs. Peterson, who vouched for my character, reminding everyone I'd saved lives here at home, not just overseas. But Sandra, egged on by her handler, this slick developer named Blackwood, kept pushing, shifting her story, now making me out as a threat to children, playing the unstable vet card to perfection. But Carter? He was digging. And after one heated day, he pulled me aside, off duty, his voice low. Did you save someone from a burning car, Route 34, about 18 months ago? And yeah, I had, but never stuck around for thanks, just did what you do. Turns out Carter was that cop. The irony, Sandra trying to ruin the guy who'd saved the life of the officer now in charge of her complaints, wasn't lost on either of us. By now, our lives were unraveling. Insurance canceled, job threatened, Maria's hospital getting anonymous calls, city inspectors crawling over our property with bogus complaints. Someone wanted us out, and they wanted it fast. Maria, never one to take it lying down, started digging herself, connecting with families across the county who'd faced the same weird campaign. False reports, coordinated pressure, even planted evidence. Yeah, they tried that on us too. A pro sneaking onto our property at night, planting a bag of cocaine in our shed, not knowing we'd upgraded our security cameras. The next morning, Sandra called in the anonymous tip, but Carter was ready. He watched the footage with me, saw the guy from Blackwood's crew break in, clear as day. That was the crack in the dam. Within hours, Sandra was cuffed for conspiracy, evidence tampering, her face a mask of shock. Neighbors who'd been silent now found their voices, and as the news broke, the whole community rallied. Tom, who knew banking, traced payments. Hundreds of thousands flowing from Blackwood shell companies to Sandra every time a family was forced out. Turns out, we weren't just up against a bitter neighbor, but a national racket targeting veteran families, flipping homes for profit, using folks like Sandra, broken by loss, easy to manipulate, as their attack dogs. Sandra broke down, realized she'd been used, begged to make it right. Maria, showing more grace than I thought possible, said, "Then help us stop them." That was the beginning of the end for Blackwood's crew. Sandra turned witness, laid out the whole playbook. 47 families, 8 states, millions stolen. FBI swept in, arrested Blackwood mid-threat as he tried to force Sandra back into line. Gun flashing, Carter's backup pinning him before he could blink. In court, Sandra faced her past, testified to how grief made her vulnerable, how they'd recruited her from a Gold Star mothers group, promised her justice, but only used her to hurt others. The story went national. News trucks, congressional hearings, hashtags blowing up. Our little HOA nightmare became a symbol for how easy it is to turn pain into poison, and how easy it is to let hate fester into something truly dangerous. But there was redemption, too. Sandra started a foundation in Michael's name, turned her pain into scholarships for military kids. Laws changed. The Martinez Act, they called it, putting real penalties on coordinated harassment, protecting families like mine across the country. Carter got promoted, used his experience to train other cops on spotting this kind of abuse before it took root. Still, there were shadows, threats, higher-level officials caught up in the scheme, international money trails, whispers about the conspiracy running deeper than anyone realized. 1 year later, standing at Arlington with Sandra, placing flowers on Michael's grave, she whispered, "This is how I honor him now, by protecting, not destroying." I told her I believed it. They say heroes don't look for recognition, they just show up when needed. Sometimes, it's a combat medic running toward gunfire. Sometimes it's a mother admitting she was wrong. Sometimes, it's a whole community finally standing together to say, enough. The world watched our story, but for me, the real victory was tucking my kids in at night, knowing they could finally sleep safe, and hoping other families would never have to fight the same war on their own street. So, let me ask you, where do you stand on justice? Have you seen power abused in your own backyard? Drop your thoughts below, tell me what you'd have done, because honestly, community isn't just about property lines and bylaws. It's about having each other's backs, even when it gets messy. And if you think our story matters, share it. Maybe, just maybe, it'll help the next family before it's too late.